we went back to sort of where HVT started. The Perth Hills, where we are, is kind of where the main West Australian trail scene has always been. Kind of, there's always been a few different spots, but with most public spots, they only last a few years, sort of thing. They get up to a good standard, then eventually the Shire gets involved and knocks them down, sort of thing. So pretty well, they had a few private locations, but they're always at like parents' houses, which is kind of what I had going on as well. But then I sort of just got sick of that. The old man didn't want us to sort of build any more jumps and knock any trees down or anything. So I was kind of just started working. I was earning, decent enough money that I was like, I'm just going to buy my own place and sort of spend the best part of 12 months looking for a good place or good property to buy with good dirt. I literally like have a scope around at the different properties that were for sale. And it kind of needed to have water was one of the things, and had to have good dirt. That was kind of the two prerequisites, I suppose. So I kind of went around. I'd rock up and there'd be a real estate agent there, and I'd take out a shovel and a pick from the back. And they're probably looking at me going, what the fuck? Because the long hair, probably just had black jeans on and a black t-shirt. And all I do is pull out a shovel and a pick, and I go down and start digging holes in the property everywhere. So I'd like scrape off the top layer of grass, dig a few test holes, see what it was like. And then based on that, I'd either be like, yeah, I'm interested, or nah, that's it, I'm all done. And they're like, oh, but you haven't even looked in the house yet. And I'm like, nah, doesn't matter, the dirt's no good. So I'd hate to think what they were actually thinking. Probably thought I was just trying to grow a heap of weed or something, I don't know. But I pretty much, so I bought this property. It's pretty sweet block. It's got the big dam on it that you can swim in. That's obviously also our water supply. Fortunately, this one did have a house on it. It's a bit of a bucket of a house. I will demolish it one day, but for now it provides us with a toilet that flushes and power to run the pump, so we can have a hose set up and everything for the trails, which is pretty important because I suppose Perth summers are pretty dry. It's not uncommon. I think a couple of years ago we went 120 odd days without a drop of rain. So you kind of need to be able to keep that water supply up to it. So yeah, we pretty much, like from when I bought the place back in 2010, we started building straight away. You can only dig during the winter, and then during the summer everything just dries up and goes way too hard. So we started building. So we got a few years into it, and then decided we're going to hold a bit of a jam. It was always a good place for people to come and just hang out and ride at.
Winner.
Don't film me with this fucking shovel.
Bindi. Bindi. Bindi.
I'm in uniform.
Oh, today we're going to go down to the reptile park.
We had a pretty solid crew. There's a fair few guys from WA that were coming through, and sort of thought we'd throw it out there and try and get a bunch of guys from the East Coast or from around WA to come up and ride. So I put the invite out there. Pretty much just said, look, come and let's have a jam for trails riders from around the place. And it kind of took off right from the first year. We got a fair few people come over for it, which was pretty cool because we'd known some of them from past trips and that, but a lot of people that we didn't know turned up. And yeah, it sort of kicked off from there. It kind of grew into a bit of a monster in a way, but a good one because it somehow ended up with bands playing there. It was always going to be a bit of a camp out sort of thing, but the way that it turned out, there was just literally cars lined up all the way along the side of the property, just camped out for pretty much the whole week. Every night was a bit of a party. Some of the best sessions are actually like the week leading up to the jam, I think. But I suppose each year we've sort of just tried to make it that little bit better. So we've got more and more jams. We've got one coming up this weekend coming. We've got 6 bands lined up for that. And the best thing is we don't have to pay a cent for it. Like the guys are all just doing it for free. Because, the property, I just support the mortgage and everything's under my name. So lose a bit over $1,000 a fortnight just trying to keep the property alive. And then you obviously got the bills and everything on top of that, which I suppose just part and parcel of having the property. At the end of the day, I'll get the property, so I'm not too fussed about it. But it's kind of a bit of a unique setup, I suppose. people can come around, they can just camp out. Anyone who's travelling, we've had a fair few travellers come through as well, which has been really cool, because you can always offer them a place to crash, to hang out, store their cars, store their gear, whatever they need to do. It's kind of been a bit of a halfway house, but that's kind of cool. That's what I wanted as well. That was the vibe I was going for. When I wanted to build some trails and set this place up, it was kind of, I didn't want any of the politics, I didn't want any of the shit that goes with having a public spot, worrying about people coming in and trashing it or not watering. We had a good group of guys there that everyone's just keen to get in, get the job done. They all respect it. I work away in mining, so I'm only home for like a third of the year. 2 weeks away at a time and then a week at home. So there's always guys there though, pretty much every single day there's someone there. It's called HVT for Hidden Valley Trails, but probably should be Hidden Valley Tavern more than anything, because there's probably more beers drunk there than bikes doing jumps sometimes. But that's the kind of vibe that I wanted, a place where everyone could just come, hang out. You can put in the effort to build the jumps and you don't have to worry about them getting knocked down the following week or someone else coming in and changing something up that you've just built. So yeah, that's kind of the feel for HVT anyway, and I suppose because we are so isolated, like Perth's the most isolated capital city in the world, so I think Adelaide's the next closest, and that's at least 2,500 kilometres away. So to have people travel and actually come over to WA whenever they do, we try and make them feel as welcome as possible, because it's easy for someone travelling to just go to the East Coast, because there's so much there. You've got Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney, Adelaide, Canberra, everything's sort of relatively close, and then you've got this great big stretch of desert in the middle of Australia where there's nothing, and then you've got Perth. Pretty much when people come over, it's a pretty standard thing. You come to the trails and there's going to be a heap of red cans floating around. EMU Export, which is like the beer for Western Australia. Pretty much that's what everyone drinks. Everyone rocks up to the trails with a block of Export. So if you're travelling and you rock up there, that's the first thing that's going to get handed to you. Probably put your hand out for a backhand high five that we do, say good day, and then hand you an Export, and that's kind of what gets everyone hooked. The HVT Jam now is probably equally as famous for the party as what it is for the riding. It's good times, Everyone comes up there, whether they're street riders or whether they're park riders or what. They all come up just for the party, if nothing else.
You gotta mix it up. Or taste that. That's taste. Bands and make it dance. Somebody whiskey in there.
Let's try.
Do you have any more?
Hey, James.
Here's
a well whiskey now.
Badasses wear red jeans.
Damn. Yesterday.
No, today.
Ben Rose is a god.
Yesterday I did a foot jam. All about leg jam.
How about you just
The
jam?
result was I pretty much broke my leg.
Hey, Ben, do it back in.
Hey, play some music. Play a chord, bro.
Do a beat. Hey, Ben, do a chord. Yeah, there we go, John Young. There it is. There it is. You concentrate. Oh, sorry. What is that? What is that? What is that?
I'm just running low on battery, I've got to close the screen. I'm not trying to concentrate. I'm just trying to get sound. Music's good. That's pretty fun.
You get that shot. Look at that chicken wing. Look at that chicken wing. Get it.
Good for you.
Me?
Yeah.
Fuck off. Don't delete that shit. Oh, that's one. Stibbo! Matey!
It's a hole in his
Where's Matty? I don't know, but I lost my fucking boxes, eh?
Just kept found.
No, I'm pretty sure someone ripped them out of my pants.
Fuck, really?
I'm pretty sure someone ripped them out. guy.
That is sick.
It's like my
Number one.
revival time.
That was fucking sick.
Well, what? It's like BMX Masters 2000 and whatever.
Step back, step.
Get out! BC! Straight through center of attention, my man. Come on! BC with the HVT Big Dick King move of the Star count of the weekend. Where you should take your drugs out. Come on, beach mode. Yes!
Oh, sorry, man.
Yes! Fuck yeah! I voted for you, man! I fucking voted for you! Straight into his bum, right? Fucking druggo!